Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been a very, very long time. It's been about 5 months since I did my last video, but I decided to go ahead and start up HotS again, and I'm gonna be coming back doing a video literally every day. Literally every day. So I'm super excited about this. As you can see, I now have a wall behind me instead of kitchen, cats, really old TV, stuff like that. So get on to today's topic. Today's topic is gonna be Naventic. So I was trying to think of a good topic. There's lots of things to talk about right now. Lots of things that I'm super interested in. I think it's a good time to go ahead and talk about Naventic and what's going on with them. On Reddit the other day, we had this super huge hate thread. So right over here, we had this like Naventic is about to make changes. They posted some things saying that they were going to be doing announcements. For those of you that are not aware, C9 just broke up a few weeks ago, and so the team, a lot of the people on that team are teamless. So there's a lot of speculation about, oh, does this mean like a big roster changes incoming for Naventic? Does that mean they're going to be getting rid of, X and Y player and subbing in, Dunk Train and King Caffeine or something like that? So there's lots of theories flying around. There's lots of stuff. What really bothers me about this Reddit thread is, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but like most Reddit threads, it's pretty ignorant. There's a lot of people here throwing around some like really bad opinions about Naventic where they really shouldn't be. Now, personally, my experience with Naventic has been more or less positive. I think it's been a little less than professional at times. I don't hold that against them. I think overall the organization has been, they've made a lot of good decisions for everyone. So I think this is definitely, they're definitely a good organization and they're definitely on the right track. So they also let go of Taza Petyu, their manager, not too long ago, and it was very sudden. It's basically like in the middle of the night, like it was tweeted out, like effective immediately. This person will be replacing Taza as our team's here as the Storm manager, and nobody really knows what's going on. I suspect Taza wanted to go to a new team. I'm not sure if there was some kind of interaction where he was wanted to work with an Overwatch team, and I'm not sure if there was some sort of interaction like he decided to do that and he wanted to do both, and then Naventic said no or whatever. It doesn't matter. From what I can tell, they're more or less on amicable terms. I don't think the organization has really done anything horrible with that. So the other main thing about this thread that's really bothering me is the Kenma versus Zuna, the Kenma and Zuna thing. Like a lot of people, I understand why people don't like Kenma and Zuna. Kenma and Zuna, they have a long history of just being really toxic. They can tilt really easily. They can get really toxic at times, and especially we're seeing a lot of frustration come out from Zuna in the recent tournaments, not only in the North American regional but also here, where he starts off playing a tank because that's the role that they've put out for him, and by the end of the series he's not playing a tank anymore. He's playing a carry and forcing other people onto the tank role who aren't really used to that. And that's problematic for a lot of reasons, but I think we really shouldn't be blaming Zuna here. See, the real problem with Naventic really goes all the way back to when Erho first left. So they kicked out Erho, right, because of his attitude. They felt his attitude was not productive to the team. That's understandable. And so they brought in Big Impact, which is really strange. They didn't bring in a tank player to replace their tank player. They instead brought in a primarily like ranged melee assassin player to come in, and that's a bit of a problem because that overlaps with McIntyre, Fan, Zuna. That's all of their area where they like to be. So the problem was that there was kind of this void where they didn't have really a dedicated tank player, and Zuna assumed that he could, just go ahead and pick it up and, become a tank player. It's fine. But the problem that we're seeing now is that it really prevents him from playing to its full capacity. And that's the whole purpose of having these roles, is you want people who can play to their full capacity. There's a lot of pro players I know that have been kind of forced onto a role that they didn't want to play. And as a result, it's caused a lot of problems. Say for instance, like you take like let's League of Legends. Let's just like go way in the opposite direction. Say you take League of Legends, you take someone like I actually have no idea who's like in vogue right now. Let's say you take someone like Faker. I think this is a good one. You take someone like Faker and you put him on support. You put Wolf on mid. Like you do that kind of role swap. Or say like they get rid of Wolf. Like they kick Wolf from the team and they hire on a new mid laner. And since they don't really have like a support player, they decide they're just gonna flex Faker to the support role. Now, granted, like Faker's probably still gonna do great on the support role. He'll probably win games with it somehow, but it really is limiting what he can do because the whole effect of him being in the mid lane and controlling the whole mid area of the map and kind of putting that pressure on mid, that's what he's known for. That's his forte. That's the things that he's strongest at. So putting him on a support would be wasting a lot of his talent. But this is the problem with Naventic is you have a lot of different players whose roles overlap and then no tank player. And so we're getting to a point where no one is really properly where they're supposed to be, and it creates a real problem. There's this like fly flying around my face. It's really bothering me. Anyways, so we talk about things like Zuna tilting and things like that, and that's true, but I think the real problem is that we have a role problem. And I think the people who have been suffering most from that have been McIntyre and Fan, particularly McIntyre. McIntyre has been, like, you can tell there's a lot of frustration going on. He's kind of, as kind of like the universal flex player, he's been kind of forced into other roles while Zuna tries to carry on other heroes. That's becoming a problem for him because, like, for instance, in this last tournament in DreamHack Summer, he actually was forced into playing like a Malfurion one game, while Kenma took Tyrande. Like I'm one, I don't want to say 100. I'm like 95% sure that Naventic has never ever run that draft before, and it was literally like a spur of the moment, like, hey, let's get Tyrande. Oh, okay, yeah. We need a little bit more healing. Instead, I'm Furion. McIntyre, can you play Tyrande? And he's like, no, I don't really know how to play Tyrande. And they were like, okay, cool. Well, Kenma knows how to do it. We'll just put you on the Malfurion, and then we'll play the carries. And it's just like, it's just a complete fucking waste of his talent. Like it's a huge problem, and you could tell that he was really upset and really angry about that. And it's also been the same thing with tanks and things like that. So, understandably, like, he's probably been pissed off. I really think he's going to be one of the people to go, unless they make some big changes. I think Fan is also a little bit upset because Fan is an absolutely fantastic player. But when we get in these situations where everybody's kind of going their own way, when Zuna's abandoned tank play so that he can carry, and Kenma's trying to be a hero and carry, and you've got McIntyre who's pissed off and just trying to get something done. You just kind of have all of these different ideologies just kind of floating in different ways, and they're not really coming together as a team. And that can be really frustrating for someone who's as good as Fan. Like Fan, if he had a team that would, like, you know, follow up on something, he could just blow people up. Like we just saw Tempest versus MVP Black in the finals of DreamHack Summer, where Tempest pulled off this insane composition on the last map, Towers of Doom, where they gave Dami Greymane, and they just went full support the Greymane build. They got Tyrael, they got Tassadar, and was it Rhaegar? No, it was Brightwing and Brightwing. So they got those three, and they just all end on the Greymane. It was insane because there was all this follow up that like Dami could just go in with impunity and just like annihilate people. And that's the problem that we're seeing Naventic face in the opposite way, is things are just going everywhere. So Fan is trying to make these plays, he's trying to get stuff done, but he can't because there's all this split focus. And so I think that's one of the big problems. And like I said, this all stems from the problem of not having a tank player. because they don't have a tank player. They can't play as a team. So I can understand the frustration of both McIntyre and the frustration of Fan, and I think that's gonna cause some pretty big changes soon. I would be surprised if they let Big Impact go. They're not gonna let Kenma or Zuna go. Like, I know a lot of people want to say that, but like Kenma and Zuna are actually pretty fantastic players. There might be better supports out in the scene. Like maybe Kenma could take a step back for like Dunk Train or something like that. But it's like Zuna, absolutely not. Like Zuna is like the heart of the team. Like there's no way that they're gonna get rid of Zuna because he's the one who made the team. He's the one who has he's the reason why the team wins most of the time. So it's silly, all of these comments about how they should just let go of how they should just let go of Zuna because he's just a problem and he spells doom for every team that he's on. That's absolutely ridiculous because he's by far the most winningest player in Heroes of the Storm on average. Maybe not in the other regions because the other regions have, especially China and Korea, they go way back. But as far as North America goes, he's always been at the top. He's always been in the top 2, 100% of the time. So I think it's stupid for anybody to think that somehow Zuna is bad. Like maybe they haven't had the experience of playing him in alpha and getting completely outclassed. I have. He's a much better player than me. He's a much better player than most players. And it's his shot calling, particularly his team fighting shot calling, that is really strong. He really knows just how far he can take a fight where they really need to, you know, relax and chill out and take a step back. So, all in all, basically, I just want to say my prediction for the future is if we do see a change in Naventic over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be to allow everyone to play the role that they want to play and kind of perform at their best as a team. So I think the best way that they're going to do that is I think there's a really strong synergy between Kima, Zuna, and Big Impact. I think that Fan and McIntyre are kind of a little bit left out. I think we'll see either one of them or both of them drop. And in their stead, we'll probably see a C9 player. Probably King Calf. I would be really surprised if we didn't see King Caffeine into the Naventic roster after the next month. We may see, there is a possibility that like Dunk Train may replace Kenma, maybe? I'm not sure. Like, I know at one point in time, Kenma wanted to take a step back and be more of a manager role, and I guess this is a perfect time for him to be a manager, since Taza was just let go, and right now they really need a full-time Heroes of the Storm manager. So like it would make sense for Kenma to kind of like take a step back and be like, all right, cool, I'll manage. Like I love being a part of the team with my brother. I love being around him. So I'll manage and we'll take care of that stuff. And then the rest of the team, if we can actually combine and make the best team in North America. So we'll see how things go. But definitely what they need, a dedicated tank role, and they're going to need a little bit more solidity in their roles. They can't be role swapping all over the place. They really need to have, you know, like Zuna, you are the ranged assassin player, and you know, like Biggie, you are the flex player. Fan, you are the melee assassin player, etc., etc. I think all those are good things. I think they'll do well, and I think Naventic still has a pretty bright future as the best team in North America. That's pretty much it. If you have comments, concerns, ideas, whatever, let me know below. And if you want to, you can subscribe right down here, this little box right here. All right, well, thanks for seeing me again. I'm gonna start doing these every day if possible, and start producing a lot more content after watching